Hi folks, welcome to Barry's Bench, episode 4 of the camera shop build. So we're going to start by adjusting the opening here to fit the window. So I cut it a little bit shy so I can shave it to fit closer. So I like to just start carving in here very gently, taking a little bit at a time and test fitting. And just take your time so that you don't accidentally cut something you don't want to cut. Take off too much material. It's a little bit harder to add it back in than you would think. So I'm trying to do it equally on both sides. And try and make sure you keep your knife straight up and down. You don't want to overcut it and cause the back of the opening to be narrow and too narrow. And you don't want to undercut it and make the back of the opening too wide. Then it'll mess up your gluing surface. Try and keep it as straight as you possibly can. I said it's a tiny bit at a time. And there we go. Now it seems to fit. Let's check at the top and bottom. That's pretty good so far. Yep, that's looking pretty good. Now we want to go ahead and check our vertical fit, which looks like it needs a little work. So you can see that there's a little bit of overcutting on the sill there. So now, to leave this arch the way it is, if I'm too short here, I'll trim down into the windowsill because it's a lot easier to lay the extra piece of the sill over top of that than mess the arch look up here. So let's take a little bit extra out of the windowsill here. And that looks like a pretty good fit. So now we're ready to set the window in. So let's get out one of our handy dandy extra business cards we like to keep around. Get me a toothpick from my collection. And then we'll just use some Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. Gives you a little bit of working time, but it sets up pretty quickly, so don't take your time too much. I'm trying to get the glue on all the sides because it'll help fill in any little gaps. Like I said before, what I'll do is once it's in there, if there is any gaps, I can always touch them up with some glue to fill it in, and then we paint the colors to match the brick. Alright, that should be enough there. So now we can very gently line our window up and drop it in. Well, I should have test fitted before I put it all the way in. It's a little on the tight side. So let's see if we can just trim it a little teeny hair right there. And then gently try and coax it down in. That's a little bit better. Alright. So, went down a little too deep, so what I'll do is push it back up from behind. Here we go. And then just take and press the sides up against here. And the windowsill. And there we go, we have our window set in. And it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So here we have a little burnt sienna. Now just gently. Ah. Well, that looks a little bit like rust. Don't like that color as much as I thought I would. So, we have other ones in our stash over here that might be better. Let's see. Not the raw umber. This one's asphaltum. It's like a dark black brown. And the little paint that did get there, this red, looks like a little bit of rust coming off the window. So. And on the top there, you don't have to worry about it as much because that'll be covered up by the brick ledge. You know, the arch on the top. Here it is, just my little mistake. It looks like a little bit of weathering. And we need a little bit of gray paint down in the bottom there. So let me find some gray paint over here in my list. Yeah, there we go. A little hippo gray. It's a nice color. Nice warm gray color. So next, guess a clean toothpick. And we'll start with our little brick ledge. You get a little bit of glue on it. over top there. And here we go. That lines up great. Now we'll do the same here. We'll apply the glue to the back of the brick arch. There we go. Now you see that covers up the unpainted edge where we cut out the arch. So the final piece to apply will be our little service door down here. Made sure I flipped it right. So there's a little handle and latch on this side. Then just line that up over the printed image on the wall. And there you go. We now have this wall's done. And this wall was completed earlier as my test. So that's 2 walls done. Next will be to cut out this door. I have a printout of our paper that I already applied to 110-pound cardstock. So what we'll do is we'll cut it out just a little bit wide of the actual door so that we can bend it up. And then I'll cut a piece to fit in here for the arch at the top. I'm going to do this arch a little bit differently. I'll take a piece of brick from up here and cut it. That way I can cut this out to match the arch easier. So, let's put this wall aside. Get out my scale rule. And I really want to take it like this first. And I want to cut it both directions. Like so. And then I'll cut it across the bottom. Next, we're going to take our score tool and line it up about like that. Fold it right on this line here too. Right there at the bottom of the arch. 2, 3. And put it right on that line there. 2, 2. Can't count. 3. Now, get out handy dandy straight edge. Get a little lift on it. Take a strip of the brick off the top here for the arch. Let's take this side first. And right like that. Okay. And now I want to very gently file along this line here. There we go. Now once I put this together, then I can glue that piece across the top. But first things first, now that we've got these bent, we need to actually cut the wall away. There we go. Alrighty. Now we have our sides bent up. Notice this side over here is a little bit bigger than the other side. So I'm going to trim a little teeny bit off of that. That's better looking. There we go. Let's take our stain marker here. I'm going to do across the top of the arch too. Just really trying to hide the white edges. Alright, there we go. And now we need our Zap-A-Gap glue. And then we'll just hold it here for a little bit, let the glue set. I don't want to be spraying any kicker on it. Don't know what that would do to the paper or the glue holding the images on the paper, so just be careful. It's not sticking at all. Alright. This is not making me very happy, folks. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do here is put this piece aside. If I have to cut a new one, I will. I'll fit that in after I get the door into the wall. So folks, we'll wrap it up for tonight. The next video, I'll have to cut out the door and get this mounted in there, and then we'll go about fitting the arch in and the brick lintel over the top and get that taken care of for everyone. So for now, this is Barry from Barry's Bench signing off on episode 4 of the Camera Shop Build. Take care, folks.